Hey, it's Logan Renee of the SOULKATION podcast, the home of all things soul care, a place where we heal, we grow, and we laugh, all while you're building your six-figure business or CEO career.
Hey, it's Logan Renee of the SOULKATION podcast, a place where you will learn how to shape your own success, maximize your unique gifts, maintain your self-love, and so much more when we get back from thanking our sponsors. Are you ready to snatch your permission slip back and take charge of your life? Well, this podcast is sponsored by the #1 new release book, Never Ask for Permission Again. Grab your copy today by clicking on the link in the show notes. Hi, everyone. Welcome back for another SOULKATION announcement. I want to do a special tribe shout out to B Green 1908. She said that I met Logan at a conference and she was so dynamic that I decided to check out her podcast. And I'm so glad that I did. I've had my playlist locked for the past few days. Her episodes are not too long. Her topics are interesting and relatable. And she leaves you with actionable items that can be implemented today. SOULKATION has been added to my favorites list. And she says to tune in because you won't regret it. Thank you so much, B Green 1908. Like, it literally warms my heart and it makes me smile because that was my intent when I started. Like, I know people are driving usually when they're listening to the podcast or on the move. And I wanted to make sure the show was short and that you all enjoyed it. So I'm super, super grateful for your feedback. Also, don't forget to mark your calendar for November 19th, 2020. We're having the SOULKATION Life class, Family Matters. Honey, we're going to talk about how to deal with in-laws, how to deal with loss over the holiday, how to deal with family drama that might happen over some turkey, okay? Or might happen over who's paying for the turkey this year. Some co-parenting tips, especially if you're in a relationship with somebody that already has kids and you're coming in and it's new to you and you like, chat, how do I deal with this? When do I speak up? When do I state my opinion? We're going to talk about it with licensed therapists. And then the SOULKATION Life class, Planning Your 2020, we're going to plan how you can put your schedule on autopilot, how you can design your daily and weekly and monthly routines so it's easier for you. We're going to talk about effective systems and intentional planning. Okay. It's the difference between planning something for a goal and being intentional about it. And we're going to talk about that December 17th. So make sure you mark your calendars. And also make sure you're a part of the SOULKATION Tribe Facebook group because that's where we host the life classes and that's where they're actually free. So we want you there. We want you in the chat. We want you asking questions and getting feedback. So yeah, that's our announcements for today.
I'm here to talk about a topic that is not popular, but is so necessary because there are way more singles than there are couples. And singleness means that you are not married, so you might have a boyfriend or you might be engaged, but singleness truly means not married. So we're going to cover some stuff that I honestly believe that singles need to embrace and hear. And it's something I have to remind myself of all the time, guys, like literally all the time. And it's 3 things that I think that the single season requires of us. Because the truth is, it's not a season for living in regrets and things that we got wrong in past relationships. I know sometimes when I'm like laying in bed, I'm thinking about all the things I did wrong in previous relationships. And I kind of beat myself up about it. And instead of doing that now, it's like, okay, so what's the lesson? You can't abuse somebody's heart and time because you're trying to figure yourself out. That's not fair. So instead of beating myself up about it, I just take it as a lesson and a nugget to chew on and knowing that that's not a way I would want to treat my spouse. So like I said, it's not a season of living in regret, but it's focusing on what's available now. And what's available now is a better you and a better version of yourself and seeing your whole truth. Because I think a lot of times, we just take the same personality, the same swag, the same soul characteristics into the next relationship. And the only thing we end up doing is switching social security numbers. Like there's no difference between any of the guys, but their social security numbers, because we attract the same type of guy. I also believe that this season is for us to maximize our now. Like you can go talk to any wife and she will tell you the time you have right now, you definitely not gonna have that time, when you get married. That reading, that chilling, the sleeping in, the napping, the not picking up your shirt off the floor or leaving your shoes wherever you want to, like that's really a no-go. So I feel like this is a season of like us maximizing it to our fullest. So the first thing I think that should be so key in like how we see stuff and how we do things is like asking the questions like, what do I like and what do I love about myself? I actually do trainings with women on this, like figuring out what you like and what you truly, truly love about yourself. And it's funny because I went to a dance class once and the teacher asked us to all go around and say something that we liked about ourselves. It took us literally like 40 minutes and it wasn't even a big class because it's so hard for us to compliment ourselves, but yet it's something that we always want to hear. Like we want to be like, girl, them shoes was cute. Yes, hair, we want to hear it, but it's hard for us to do it for ourselves. So I think we have to get in the habit of first, complimenting ourselves. And it's a book that I know I think it's sold over 1 million copies. It's a #1 bestseller. Actually, both of her books. And it's why men love bees and why men marry bees. I'm not gonna say the B word because this is a PG podcast, but her name is Sherry Argoff. I think I'm saying her name right. I hope so. But both of the books are amazing books. And I always go back to them, like read different little nuggets about the popcorn. You got to read the book because I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's so good. And like the little date nights and the ideas. But she's dropping so many nuggets in the book. But she says, in romance, there's nothing more attractive to a man than a woman who has dignity and pride in who she is. A man can smell an insecure woman 50 miles away. And all he has to do is listen to her talk. That's why, honestly, on the first date, I try to do as less talking as possible. Like, I want to qualify him. Because sometimes when we go on dates, we trying to be qualified. When the truth is you are already qualified. You're already complete. You're already enough. You're already God's best idea. You're already beautifully and wonderfully made. So when you sit down across from somebody, it's not you trying to qualify yourself for him. No, sir, I'm trying to qualify you for me. Like, I know I'm enough. So I'm trying to see if we're going to be a good match, but they can smell insecurity. They can smell your desperation for a ring. They can smell that you want to be seen and chose. Like they can smell when you just want him to say that you look real good, and sometimes that's all that they need to hear to, keep it moving. But they can smell it. So it's something that we have to have within us that says, no, I really like me. I really love me now. Even with all, I'm telling you guys, when I say my background is the furthest thing from perfect, and I am sitting here as a forgiven woman that has not only been forgiven, but I've forgiven myself because my past is nowhere near clean. It's nowhere near like, it's just not clean. Let's leave it like that. But the great thing about being forgiven and walking in love with yourself is you get to start over because you see yourself in a different light and you respect yourself with a different swag and a different essence. That's the first thing. The second thing I think that's very important for singles is boundaries. Boundaries. Okay. One of my biggest boundaries is when I am feeling like down a little bit, emotions start to, come in and start feeding me stories. I can't listen to R&B music. That's one of my boundaries. I can't. I love me some Tank. Okay. I love me some Tank, some Janae Aiko. I mean, love me some R&B music. But when I got, when your emotions on 200, you already know when your emotions are on 200. So I just make sure I keep myself from, staying in those emotions, staying in those feelings. So one of my boundaries is not, listen to R&B music. Another boundary of mine is No wine on dates. Wine makes me extra chatty, makes me extra ha ha, falling all over, laughing at stuff that's not funny. You're not even, it's not even funny, but you're just laughing because, you're a little tipsy or whatever. So that's one of my boundaries. But everybody has to set those boundaries for themselves. And it's a book actually called Boundaries by Dr. Cloud and Dr. Townsend. I recommend everybody reads. I mean, women, men, dogs, everybody. And they even have a book for kids, I think. But one of the things they said is, don't give because you fear losing love. Oh, that's a good boundary. Don't give your body because you fear losing him. Don't give your self-respect because you fear he's not going to call you back. Don't give up all your morals, all your values, how you see yourself just for a text message every now and then, you know? And I've done this. So I'm sitting in the seat of non-judgment. I'm sitting in the seat of, child. I got the t-shirt. And when I read that, I literally cried because I can't even tell you all how many times I gave because I feared losing love from somebody. And it wasn't even really love. It was my fabrication of what I thought love was. Because when you really get to know yourself on the side of wholeness, on the side of self-respect, you see that the love that I required at 18 and the love that I required at 25 is nowhere near the love that I deserve at 30, at 35, at 32, at 24. You know, I deserve a better type of love. And I think the love that we attract is the love that we reflect. Another thing that they said was sometimes we think love means always saying yes. Mm. That's another boundary. Sometimes we think love means always saying yes. I don't know about you all. And I actually want you all to leave a comment. And even if it's just a heart or a smiley face, if you like have been through this or you understand what it is that I'm saying or what they were saying in the book, if you feel like it's always attached to a yes, like if I just say yes, I'll get to meet his family finally. If I give in and say yes, maybe we'll go on more dates. If I say yes, maybe I won't have to call him as much. He'll look forward to calling me. If I say yes, he'll want to spend more time with me on the weekend. If I say yes, he'll stop breaking up with me. you know like when you get back to that, when you just step back and say, dang, I'm saying yes at the expense of my soul, at the expense of my soul. And it was so funny because one of my relationships, when I got out, it was actually a situationship. Let's call a thing, as a young Van Zant would say. I was in a situationship. I didn't even recognize myself, y'all. I was like, who are you? And why have you like sold your soul for 3 dates? Three. Three. Y'all know how many three is? Not a lot, you know? Anyway, that's the second one, boundaries. The third one is weapons and rescues. You need some weapons and you need to rescue yourself. Another self-evaluation. When my mother passed away, alcohol became my best friend. So did Tylenol PMs. I actually talk about this in the book, Never Ask for Permission Again. It's an amazing book, comes out October 4th. And it's basically breaking down what death has taught me. So like I said, it was one of my best friends. So one of my weapons and one of the things to rescue myself from alcohol becoming my best friend and becoming my me being dependent on it was me taking a year off from alcohol. Crazy, right? Yeah, crazy. And let me tell you how hard that is. Every baby shower, every wedding, every anniversary, every networking event, every social, every party, most time when you go to lunch, brunch, snack, it's waiting for you at home, it's waiting for you at your friend's house. Alcohol is everywhere. So this has been the biggest challenge for me in 2018. But every year I give up one thing that actually that hindered me the year before or crippled me in some type of way the year before. So every year I give up one thing. Last year it was chicken. Love me some chicken. Anyway, so it's been very difficult, but it's something that I had to put in place to protect myself. When I feel like I'm walking away from me, I have to check it immediately. So my question to you is, what weapons do you need to need to put in place, or what rescues do you need to put in place so you don't lose you? Because it takes a lot of work to get to know all of you. Like when I go back to point number one, what do you like and you love about yourself? That takes a while to discover that you rather have caramel than chocolate, that you really like hiking, but you can't stand riding bikes. You know, it takes a while to go through those things because you have to test those things out to say, I don't like that. You know, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather sit on the beach, you know, with the umbrella than, you know, always sit in the sun or whatever your thing is. You know, you have to discover what your thing. I don't like to sit in the beach for 12 hours. Like some people think that's like real sexy. I'm like, no, I'm already team dark skin and I'm not sitting out here all day. But that takes time and takes activity to uncover what it is that you like and you don't like. So when you figure this stuff out, when you get to step 3, you got to have some stuff in place to protect the person that you now know, the person you now love, and the person you now respect, you know? So my question to you is, what weapons are you going to put in place? What things are you going to put in place to rescue yourself from certain things? Maybe it is no alcohol on dates, you know, until you completely trust yourself around that person. Maybe it's not spending the night, you know, with somebody, or you know, they can't come to your house until you've been on X number amount of dates or something like that. And it doesn't have to be crazy and it doesn't have to be woo woo. But I chose a long time ago to stop lying to myself and stop pretending like I'm this woman who can't be knocked down after 12 compliments. When you get 12 in a row, you start feeling yourself a little bit. So since I know that about myself, I have to go ahead and put boundaries in place, you know, like, even from what I wear, you know, I'm very guarded about what I wear and stuff on dates. So my question to you is, type in under this episode and type one thing that you use as a rescue, even if it's a book that you always go to remind yourself, I don't want you to be a doormat. You need these boundaries in place. Don't give because you fear losing love. You know, what is your weapon? Is it a playlist? I have several playlists saved. It is private on YouTube of videos I go listen to. If I'm feeling insecure, if an insecurity pop up, y'all, I have a playlist called Wholeness. I go play it real quick. And it's like 40 something videos. And sometimes I play it at night. I have a playlist of scriptures. You actually can go on YouTube and type in Bible Promises Spoken. And this woman has recorded different scriptures based on fear, anxiety, stress, love. I mean, so many different categories. And I'll play that while I'm sleeping, because a lot of times the subconscious is never asleep, but your soul needs to be reminded of, hey, you're no longer broken. That's actually chapter 2 in the book of Never Ask for Permission Again. Hey, you're forgiven. Hey, this guy didn't like you, but it's okay. You only need one. So it doesn't matter that he didn't like you. Anyway, I need you all to either type in a book, type in a song that always reminds you of something positive of who you are, a podcast that you listen to, a video that's one of your favorites, just so we can share as a community and we can grow together. My hope is that your soul just went on a vacay and you have tools that you can apply to your life today. For more in-depth tools, head on over to loganrenee.com. Also, if you have questions that weren't answered on this episode, email your questions to logan@loganrenee.com and I'll answer them here on the show. I'll talk to you soon.